The people was here that Edmore Estate, nobody in this room would know this. Let me edify you. Edmore Estate had 85% of the cultivation already mechanized. Honorable Dr. Ashley Singh, 85% was already mechanized. You know what's the cost to do back those 2 hectares? $23 billion. So we're going to do it in phase, and it will never be completed. The minister must say, why Scullion 5,000 hectares, which were already mechanized, were not the first priority than Rosal. Let me tell you about Rosal. Rosal, 3,000 hectares of land, Mr. Speaker, put it at the highest yield, an average yield of 70 tons per hectare. Honorable Anand Prasad, you can learn a little bit about sugarcane. And you crush with a factory that has a throughput of 105 tons per hour, Mr. Speaker. Rosal Estate with the current cane production will only be crushing for 15 weeks. What are you going to do with the paper for 45 weeks? For 35 weeks, sorry. What are you going to do with them? That's efficiency. That's how the ministry's been run. That's the slide of Gaisuko. That's what's happening, that the people must know what's going on. So Rosal was reopened not because of the government's bleeding heart for the poor people. It was reopened because of the voting in 2025 elections. And we understand the reason for wanting to influence people in the Amsterdam, Kanji, and Rosal area to vote for the party. If you put party first, if you do not understand the term of obligatory duties and you're ruddermonted in your approach, that's the result of it. So, Mr. Speaker, let me turn right over there to Wales Estate. 10 years ago, that estate closed. 10 years ago, what happened with the people in that estate? 10 years ago, 8,900 acres of land were closed. We could have taken lands there and give them an acre each, and the people would have earned a livelihood. But you know what we did? We take 700 acres and we give it an alcohol name here because they have the documents. The government took 700 acres and handed it to Paul Chung. And if he was not satisfied with that, made Paul Chung the CEO for Gaisuko.
Honorable Member, the standing orders say you cannot name a person who is not in the House because they're not here to defend themselves.
I'm guided, Mr. Speaker.
That being said, Honorable Member, you need an extension to conclude.
So, Mr. Speaker, let me talk of Wales Estate.
Mr. Speaker, I beg that the Honorable Member be given 5 more minutes to conclude.
You may proceed, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For 10 years, nobody found out anything what happened to Wales. Mr. Speaker, Wales produced coffee, Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Wales produced cocoa. Why can't you give back the people at Wales to produce coffee and cocoa? Why are you bringing people from Dominican Republic to do that? And you have people there starving and out of jobs. Go and find out a place in cocoa field at Wiedenstein that you had 1,800 acres of land that produced cocoa at Wales Estate. And Nestle Company, the world's largest food company, can take all the cocoa that you produce. Tell the people why you're bringing people from Dominican Republic when people don't have jobs and they're starving there. Tell the people at Enmore, who has 10,000 acres of land, why they can't be given land to earn a livelihood. Why we have to keep it there for friends and favorites and families to build castle, perhaps castle in the air too. Mr. Speaker, if I'm to turn to the rice industry, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture must inform this House that 11,000 tons of cargo rice was indeed shipped to go to Europe. The rice ended up with contamination by the overuse of Pronto. So I don't know where are the people with HACCP and all the quality control people. But Honorable Minister of Finance, Senior Minister of Finance, I want you to know that the Europe price was $800 per ton. And basic mathematics will tell you, if you multiply that, it's 8,800,000 US dollars. The Honorable Minister must say where the rice was distributed, where did it go, and what price did we receive.
They know, they don't care.
Mr. Speaker, 2 days rainfall, the country flood. 2 days sunshine, you're in drought. But we are spending billions with NDIA. And you know what NDIA did? In 2024, I drew to the attention of Agriculture Minister, Senior Minister of Finance, sir, please listen to this. The 5,000 hectares that you have in Skeldon are already prepared for mechanized operation. NDIA went in there and dig a big canal of 10 miles distance. Desecrated every single thing that was planned here. When the minister realized, the Honorable Minister, that this is going to blow up, it was stopped. But it wasn't stopped until 10 miles were finished. And we can go there. I can take anyone voluntarily to go and see. When I asked the minister why you're doing that, because there was a guy Suku then. The minister called the chairman for NDIA who professed he doesn't know. So imagine we are managing a country, we are managing an organization called NDIA that billions are spent and we don't know what they are doing. Sir, I heard you said that my time is up, but I wish to conclude, sir. And you know, the world has about 8 billion people. I can speak for the next 6 hours here. I'm accustomed to that. The world has about 8 billion people by the last census, sir. And 30% of the world's population understands a language called Hindi. I will explain it to you, Kwame. You went to my mandir, but you didn't learn anything. You went there and you eat plenty some curry and yet you don't learn. You had hard. In that population, sir, I seek your permission to quote. And it says, Parahit saris dharma nahi bhai, parapira samduk adhamai. The Honorable Minister, Dr. Vendya Prasad, I don't have to explain that to her, but I'm bound by duty. Perhaps to tell my friend for a second time, so that you can have a common understanding as to what I'm talking about. What the scripture says, well, you don't know because you don't know basic Hindi. What the word says, what it says, Mr. Speaker, that when a world swings and there is suppression and oppression becomes rife, the multitude of the people suffers. That's a classic demonstration of what's taking place in this country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. And now for the Honourable Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Zulfikar Mustafa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make my contribution to Budget 2026. And first of all, I want to commend and thank my colleague Minister, Dr. Ashley Singh, and his technical team for a people-centered budget, a budget that is designed to strengthen economic growth while uplifting communities. And this is a strategic budget inclusive of sustainable national progress. Mr. Speaker, I want to begin by saying that food insecurity food insecurity is rising all over the world, especially in over half of the upper middle income country. Guyana stands alone. We are the only country in the world identified as capable of fully feeding its population. That is Guyana, capable of feeding its population. And this did not fall from the sky. This did not fall from the sky. It did not happen by accident. And it certainly did not happen under the watch of those now shouting from over there. It happened because this government planned, invested, and stood with the farmers instead of lecturing them from Georgetown. Mr. Speaker, I sat down, listened attentively to the honorable member. And I want to thank the honorable member, Honorable Vishnu Pandey, that the APNU PNC plus the PPP Civic destroy the industry. But there was one common factor, the Pandey syndrome. The Pandey syndrome. Pandey was working under the PNCR in Gaisuko, and he worked under the PPP Civic, and he destroyed the corporation. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member portrayed himself as the champion of accountability. But accountability begins with honesty. One cannot credibly demand standard today while conveniently ignoring one's record yesterday. He was the the honorable member was the agriculture director of Gaisuko, and his performance was far below par. Under his tenure, Mr. Speaker, Gaisuko recorded the lowest production in the history of the corporation. 6,700 tons. And Mr. Speaker, if that is not all, because of his incompetence, because of his below par performance, the honorable member was dismissed from Gaisuko because of poor performance. This is his dismissal letter. I will lay it over to the House. This is his dismissal letter, that when he was dismissed by the corporation, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, he said that he came back. He came back, and when the PPP returned to government, he was responsible, the honorable member was responsible for the Skeldon estate. He was asked by the corporation to craft a plan to reopen the Skeldon estate. He failed. And when he was asked to account for the plan, he resigned. Mr. Speaker, he resigned. Mr. Speaker, at Skeldon, Mr. Speaker, at Skeldon, there was indeed.
Honorable Minister, we have the honorable member on his feet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to say for the record of this House, the standing order 41-6, I want to make very clear in this House, sir. I, Vishnu Pandey, was never ever.
What is the point of order? What is the point of order? What is the point of order? Useless.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, and again, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member at Skelden, he just said that there was 5,000 hectares of mechanized land. Indeed. Indeed, there was 5,000 hectares of mechanized land at Skelden. But what happened? We decided that we must plant the land. We decided that we must plant the land. He was instructed as the agriculture director to plant the cane, and he failed again. Only less than 1,000 hectares of cane was planted. He failed. Mr. Speaker, the agriculture director at that time, Mr. Honorable Vishnu Pandey, who was responsible for agriculture in Gaisuko, he planted cane. And in Gaisuko, when you plant cane, they plant cane, tons cane for hectares will be higher than any other cane in the estate. Mr. Pandey, the honorable member, when he planted that cane, he had the lowest tons cane per hectare, 66 tons cane instead of 17 more. That is his legacy. And Mr. Speaker, because of his incompetence, because of his below par performance, he received a letter from Gaisuko in December of 2024 informing him that he cannot, or his contract will not be renewed by the corporation because he's ineffective and he's performing below par. And he coming here to lecture us. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the legacy of Mr. Vishnu Pandey. So, when his contract was not renewed, he came to me and he asked me to intervene. And when I find out from the board said that he cannot continue because he is not an effective agriculture director and he has failed the corporation. And that is his legacy. That is his legacy. And when his contract was not renewed, he said he want to take revenge and he gone over to join an opposition party. That's the man. That's the man. And then he coming here today to talk about, when I heard that Mr. Vishnu Pandey, honorable member, will speak on agriculture, I expect this man know everything about agriculture. He spoke about three things. He spoke about coffee a little, rice a little, sugar all the time, and a little DNI. A little DNI. So, Mr. Speaker, although he spoke at length on sugar, he cannot defend his record in the sugar industry. He cannot defend his record. Mr. Speaker, I also want to touch a little bit on what was said yesterday in this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, the APNU's loss of more than half of their seats reflects a failure in their leadership. From 31 seats to 12. They lost 19 seats because of their attitude. And Mr. Speaker, when party figure like Vince Wright Jordan focus on criticism and rhetoric instead of offering practical solution, it is no surprise that the electorate has torn away from them. But torn away, and let me tell you what, Honorable Member Jordan is the rep for Region 5. In 2020, when they were voted out of government, the APNU received 14,502 votes in Region 5. In 2020, they were voted out of government. They had a chance to recoup. And you know what they did? Because of their attitude, because of their style, in 2025, they received 55% less vote in Region 5. 55% less. That is their record. That is their record. And he mentioned a whole host of other issues, which I will not go into, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is the record of the opposition. So no matter what, they are complaining and criticizing us. We increase our seats from 33 to 36. From 33 to 36 because of what we have been doing in this country. We have been uplifting people. We have been improving people's lives. We have improved infrastructure. We have bring benefit to the people of our country. That's the record of the PPP civic government. Mr. Speaker, and let us look at the achievement. Sugar production, they criticize it. But when the honorable member, when he was fired, when his contract was not renewed, 2024, when his contract was not renewed in 2024, sugar production increased by 26%. 26% sugar production increased by. Mr. Speaker, 113,047 tons, metric tons of cane were harvested mechanically. Over 41% of Gaisuko's agriculture department now field have been mechanized. He had the task, the honorable member, but he failed. The cooperation is moving, and Mr. Speaker, I have here in my hand the new 5-year strategic plan for Gaisuko, which will see Gaisuko come to profitability by 2030. This is the plan that we have, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are seeing a number of these developments in Gaisuko. The Albion packaging plan has begun operations. We have seen the land conversion level and mechanization advance significantly since Mr. Pandey was removed from Gaisuko. Honorable Pandey, at Skelden, the 5,000 hectares that the honorable member mentioned is now being planted when he was removed from Gaisuko because he failed to do it. Mr. Speaker, I challenge, as I said, NDIA, they always criticize NDIA. Mr. Speaker, for us to have production increase, for farmers to benefit, we have to modernize our NDIA structures. Over the last 5 years, we have built over 10 pump stations across this country. Another 5 are advancing. That will continue. And I dare the opposition to bring any project that has any problems, and we will investigate it on the NDIA. Bring the project. Bring the facts. Bring the facts. Don't come and talk here. Bring the facts and we will do it. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yesterday again we heard the member, Vincent Jordan, honorable member, said here, come to this house, and said how the government reduced the fishery budget by $200 million. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you what, in last year's estimate, the budget, the fisheries budget, had $1.3 billion allocated. And then the Ministry of Agriculture had another $400 million from the integrated budget, making it $1.7 billion last year. Mr. Speaker, that we spent last year. And this year again, when you look at the budget allocation, $1.5 billion is listed in the budget, and another $800 million will be going to that sum to increase it to $2.3 billion. That's the honorable member, very, Mr. Speaker. I am saying again, the honorable member don't know to read the budget. He don't know to read the budget. He just look at the minister's speech and think that is the budget estimate. You have the volumes, then you go through the volumes. Mr. Speaker, as I said, like last year, another 800 million will be added on to the 1.5 billion that are listed here in the budget, will give us 2.3 billion for 2026. That is the budget for 2026. So we have increased the budgetary allocation in the fishery sector by $600 million more this year. Mr. Speaker, as I said, Mr. Speaker, again I am telling this honorable member, Vince Roy Jordan, learn your budget. The honorable minister said 1.5, but you got another 800 million coming for integrated. That is you don't learn. That is why you'll be over there for the rest of your life. Mr. Speaker, as I said, in the rice industry we have seen monumental progress. We have seen progress moving from rice production from a mere 500,000 ton in 2020 to 810,000 ton in 2025. Mr. Speaker, that came about because of the government's budgetary allocation in getting new variety of seed paddy, fertilizer grant to the farmers, subsidies to the farmers, reducing of the taxes that was imposed on the backs of farmers, reduction of D&I and rental charges from $15,000 to $3,500, open up new lands for farmers. Those are the factors that have contributed to the increase of rice production in our country. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in the Caribbean history, Guyana has implemented a security insurance product for rice farmers. Rice farmers' crop now are insured that they can draw from that whenever they suffer from floods and drought. First time in the history of the Caribbean, Guyana is the only country that has that. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member talked about food strategy. What we are doing. Right now as I'm speaking, a food hub is being built at Yarrow Cabra. And no less a person than Bloomberg Grain from the United States of America is the contractor building that food hub at Yarrow Cabra. Mr. Speaker, we saw, and this is simple, any of the farmers, and I have a number of farmers here, they can testify, they are out there, they are listening, and they know the reality that what I am talking about. Yes, I am not coming here and making false statements. They are here. We have farmers, the fisher folks. We have the rice farmers. We have the cash crop farmers. We have the apiculture farmers. We have the livestock farmers. All of them are here this afternoon to listen to the presentation of budget in the agriculture sector. They came here because they have benefited tremendously from the intervention of the People's Progressive Party Civic. And Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Finance, in his budget speech, alluded to the fact that the GDP growth was 19%. Non-oil economy grew by 14%. And that was led by agriculture, 11.5%. If agriculture was not doing anything, why agriculture pushing this growth rate in the country when you have an oil economy moving the economy forward? Mr. Speaker, again, we have moved growth in the agriculture sector from 0.5% negative in 1919 to 11.5% in 2025. We have increased coconut production to 2,056 acres. We have taken coconut cultivation to over 35,000 acres in our country. And this year again, we'll increase it by over 5,000 hectares. Mr. Speaker, you have to have vision. We recognize that young people is the key to develop this country. Mr. Speaker, what we did, we engaged a number of young people in this country. Yes. We formed a company called the Agriculture Innovation Entrepreneurship Program. It has over 300 young people who are shareholders of this company. Some of them are here. They can raise their hand. Where they are? They can raise their hand. Look. Right? They are here. Now we have over 54 shade houses under that program. We have 4 hydroponics farms in the Caribbean, the largest in the Caribbean in Guyana. They are managing that. At the end of the year, when the crop is being sold and they got a profit, they are receiving dividend from that company. That's the vision we're talking about.
Honorable Minister, 1 second. Members of the gallery, please. No recording, no clapping, no cheering, no stomping on the benches. You can start.
No, man, let me start. Mr. Speaker, as I said again, the AIP project have encouraged us to move further. Now we have over 15 groups consisted of 30 and more young people who are involved in the tunnel ventilated program. They are here. They are here, came here. Each, Mr. Speaker, each tunnel ventilated house where each tunnel ventilated house is capable of producing between 30 to 40,000 birds in every 6 weeks. Mr. Speaker, annually each pen can produce 7 crops per year. Multiply by 40,000 and then multiply it by 13. See how much production we'll have in poultry production. Poultry production. And these people will be owner because we have guaranteed a loan from the bank. And less than a year they will pay back that loan coming out of the profit coming out of the tunnel ventilated house. Mr. Speaker, again, you're talking about putting the people first. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you what. We have a policy directed by His Excellency the President that every project under the Ministry of Agriculture must include 35% young people and women. So much so that under the apiculture project, we have a young lady who testified, Miss Chisholm. She came all the way from Sanford in Barbies. Miss Chisholm said that 75 million, and Miss Chisholm is here. Where? Raise your hand high, can I see? Look. Miss Chisholm is there. She is there, and she said 40%, we have had 75 million national honey expansion program. 40% in honey production in 2025. Miss Chisholm, a mother of 3, who started in 2016 with just one hive. Because of floods and wildfire, it wiped out the entire apiary for her. Under the PPP civic government, with help from GLDA, Miss Chisholm is today the proud owner. She manages 110 hives today, Miss Chisholm. And she produces honey. She produces honey under the name brand Nature by Flow. That is her honey brand name, and she exports honey overseas. But that story go further. She has 3 teenage children. And because of the help, they saw what the PPP civic government gave to their mother. They themselves get involved in honey production. And with support from GLDA, Mr. Speaker, they expanded their honey production and they got involved in honey with their mother. And now they are producing honey, Mr. Speaker, under the brand Golden Harvest Honey, under Miss Chisholm children name. They now got 2 families who are producing honey. That is the empowerment that we're talking about. That is putting people first, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is not all. We have here Lester Henry. Lester Henry, who's a sheep farmer from West Coast Barbies, right next to Vincent Jordan, honorable member. You know Mr. Hector. Mr. Hector is here. Mr. Hector, Mr. Hector was involved in the sheep production in Region 5. And because of the help he received from GLDA and the breeding animal that we gave him, today he can help his neighbors in his community, that 10 other persons are benefiting from the program that we're starting out with Mr. Hector. That's the kind of way of putting people first, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, right now in Region 5, the area that we heard that honorable member talked so loud about yesterday, Mr. Vincent Jordan, honorable member, that area is now an action area for us. That area is a catalyst of development for us now in the agriculture sector. Not only rice, gone are the days when only we had rice production. We have prawns production coming out of that area. Prawns is being exported to places like Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries. We have the abattoir in operation that slaughters almost 35 animals daily and when we expand it, it will start to slaughter approximately 100 animals daily. Mr. Speaker, we heard the honorable members talk about the fisher folks. The fisher folks in this country, we have seen massive infrastructural development. Hundreds of landing sites and wharf were developed during the last 5 years. We have put in these vessel monitoring devices from these vessels going into the Atlantic Ocean so that we can have traceability. Whenever they are in distress, we can find those vessels and bring them back safely ashore, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you talk about empowering people and put people first, I said it last year. We have seen in this country a rural economy that used to produce just about 10,000 kilograms of shrimp. We have now moved production in that area from 10,000 kilograms to 120,000 kilograms. They brought in last year almost $2.9 billion, and some of them are over here on the top, on the quarantine. They are here, look, they're raising their hand there, look. They are over there, proud farmers who are farming under the People's Progressive Party civic government, who are getting the benefit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we start in the hinterland location. We start the cage culture in the hinterland location. We already put down more than 40 cages where we are now producing tambaki, and that is supplementing the village economy in these interior locations. This year again, we will put in another 40 cages in different parts of the country. Those are new areas, new development that are taking place, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I said, we will see massive development again continues this year. $13.4 billion will go back again into the sugar industry because we value people in this country. We are not callous. We are not against sugar workers. We are not against any workers, and we will continue to support all the workers in this country. Unlike the APNU AFC track record, they dismissed on the spot. Honorable member mentioned last night 7,500 sugar workers. 7,500 sugar workers. Then he come into this house lamenting the fact that sugar production or the cost to produce a pound of sugar is over $200. But he doesn't say that they shut down 4 estates, they closed down 4 estates. They didn't say because of the costs associated now to run those estates, employ more those people in the community, that is pushing the cost up for production. Very, very callous. action. Mr. Speaker, as I said, we will see 3.3 billion in the other crops section. We will see 30 acres of new area being developed for dragon fruits. We will see 10 acres onion being developed in Letem. We will see corn and soya increase production. We will see spices in Region 1 increase by over 500 acres. The Fisheries Department, as I said, $2.3 billion is allocated to this sector. We will see upgrading of new landing sites. We will see the construction of a feed mill. We will now produce our own larvae. The shrimp hatchery will come into effect this year. We will expand the cage culture and we'll install more vessel tracking devices. And also, we'll launch a digital seafood market platform from the Ministry of Agriculture. Mr. Speaker, in the livestock section, in the livestock department, $1.9 billion is allocated. As I said, we'll see a number of tunnel pens for young people being built this year. Almost 6 are in construction stage. 1 is in operation already. We'll see 65-acre plots at Region 5 already developed that will continue to support farmers to help them there to benefit from those plots. We'll expand the abattoir in Anvawak to cater for about 100 animals to slaughter per day. We'll increase honey production and expand honey production. In agro-processing, we'll see agro-processing facility built at Parika and Letem. We already completed the cassava processing plant at Parika. The special project, as I said, I just spoke about the food hub. We will see the black eyed peas and red bean project come into operation at Kimbia. We already built the silos there, 4,000-ton silos. And Mr. Speaker, between the Ministry of Local Government, they are working in conjunction with us. That in vulnerable area, we will build a vulnerable group, and the Chief Whip just mentioned on our side that the women's group in Tiger Bay will be given 50 shade houses to start cultivation of high-value crops.
This is what you call agro-processing.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, this year, in another 2 months, we'll commission the Situation Room, the data center, where we'll have updated data for not only farmers in Guyana, but across the Caribbean. We'll see the construction of the Guyana School of Agriculture to become a center of excellence. We'll see the start of the silos in Essequibo to store farmers' paddy. So when the price is low, we can store paddy there and keep it and see new markets for farmers. Mr. Speaker, another game changer for the agriculture industry will be the Guyana Development
Honorable
Bank.
Minister, before you can tell us about that game changer, you'll need an extension.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask that the honourable member be given 5 minutes to conclude his.
Thank you, Minister Teixeira. Honorable Minister of Agriculture, you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Chief Whip. So, Mr. Speaker, as I said, the Guyana Development Bank, where we heard $100 million allocated to that bank, that will be a game changer for farmers in our country. As it stands now, many rice farmers are forced to sell their paddy to particular millers because they normally take loans when they go to the crops. This bank here will cater for up to $3 million loan without collateral and without interest. That will help tremendously our farmers in this country. Mr. Speaker, we have also seen the zero collateral and zero interest rate in this bank here. We have seen the removal of the corporate tax for agro-processing businesses. This is a bold move that signals to every small entrepreneurs in Guyana that Guyana is open for business. We have seen the benefit that farmers spoke about with the lower of the excise tax and the elimination of the excise tax and a flat rate and the double-door pickups. We have seen the elimination of all taxes and duty and outboard engine, 150 horsepower outboard engine. So, Mr. Speaker, there are lots in this budget for the farmers and the working people in this country. And we have seen with the amount of money being allocated to this sector and the entire budget, all these are allocated without without no taxes. Without no taxes in this country, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, that this $113.2 billion is the government's contract with the people of our country. It is a contract that says your food will be affordable, your land will be irrigated and drained in time, and your children will have a career in the most noble of all industries. Mr. Speaker, this year, under the guiding theme of putting people first, our agricultural budget is shaped by a single firm commitment to empower those who cultivate our land, feed our nation, and sustain our future. We recognize that the strength of our agriculture sector is not measured solely in output or export, but in the dignity it brings to our farmers. The opportunities created for rural youth and resilience it builds in the face of climate and economic uncertainty. I am not behind a teleprompter here, reading from a teleprompter. This budget is a direct affirmation of our government's commitment to the hard-working farmers, fisher folks, agro-processors, and rural communities who sustain and nourish our great nation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I challenge the honorable members in the opposition benches to stand with the farmers, stand with our sugar workers, stand with our fisher folks, stand with our agro-processors, stand with the workers of this country, and let us all approve this budget for the benefit of our country. I commend this budget to the Honorable House, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I now invite the Honorable Member, Ms. Dawn Hastings, to make her contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make my contribution to the budget debate 2026, not with hostility, but with responsibility. Mr. Speaker, I wish to ask the Honorable Minister who just spoke. It is nice and I appreciate him speaking about what is there for the farmers. I appreciate him listing all the completed projects. Mr. Speaker, what about the incompleted projects? What about the Bellevue pump station and the Good Fortune pump station in Region 3? And probably there are many more, but it is only those two that has come to my mind. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I will now ask, please permit me now to begin by joining my colleagues who spoke before me in congratulating the new elected leader of the opposition, Mr. Azuddin Mohammed. I also want to take this time to thank all the indigenous brothers and sisters who came out in their numbers and voted overwhelmingly for the WIN movement. The people of Kako Village, Kamarang Warwata, Kaikan, Parima, Waramadang, Quibanang, Jawala, Imbamadai, without seeing the leader in person, came out to cast their votes with confidence. Why they did not see him in person? We all know that he was not permitted to fly into these communities. But that did not deter their determination to vote for a new party. Mr. Speaker, the people of Bartica and its surrounding communities. They too came out in their numbers and voted for the WIN. The people of Kangaruma, the people of Isanu, and the people of Isineru in the middle Mazruni, they also spoke by casting their votes for the WIN party. Mr. Speaker, we did not fly into these communities, but we drove. We took the jet boat and traveled that treacherous Mazruni River to meet with these people. And we will return to visit our people who voted for us. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, permit me now, please, to correct my colleague over there, my indigenous brother, who has miserably failed the indigenous people of this country. It is not the WIN movement that will vanish or disappear in the next 5 years or so, but that he must begin to accept and acknowledge that it is the LJP that did not keep up to its commitment. Hence, instead of working to build his party and win at least 1 more or 2 more seats in the National Assembly, he chose to abandon his ship and the people, the indigenous people who voted for him in 2020 and general and regional elections. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Member, Mr. Schuman, I must let you know that WIN is here to stay and will stay for a long time. We have, yes, APNU too, yes. We have created a history in the political sphere of this country, where we campaigned for almost 90 days before September 1st elections and were able to secure 16 seats. I repeat, 16 seats in the National Assembly. My brother, you had 5 years. The indigenous people gave you that opportunity to campaign to increase the number of seats. But what you did is allow the LJP to disappear and reduce its seat to 0. I don't know who or which party you are representing now, because we only know about the PPPC government. I haven't heard anything about PPPC LJP. Mr. Speaker, allow me now to extend a heartfelt thanks to the committed staff of the Ministry of Finance. Also, along with the Minister with responsibility for finance, the regional councillors of Regions 1 to 10, and all other ministries and departments for the hard work that they put in crafting this budget of 2026. Mr. Speaker, I submit from the outset that the figures of $1.58 trillion means nothing to the ordinary Guyanese who are living under abject poverty. What matters is not that it is the largest budget ever, but rather what matters are the deliverables. In fact, what matters is the values for the money spent. Are the Guyanese enjoying better living standard? Especially the vulnerable ones living in the hinterland and remote communities? Are their expectations being met? Perhaps, and maybe, Mr. Speaker, the 58% of poverty rate could have been significantly reduced if careful consideration and consultation was done with all the stakeholders, including the members of the opposition. What we observe, however, is more monies being poured into usual projects like public infrastructure, whether it be building a road, new secondary schools, or state-of-the-art regional hospitals. Mr. Speaker, it is time the government sit to review and analyze the performance of some of these contractors that are being awarded to families, friends, and favorites, who seems to have little or no experience in building a road, airstrip, school, or hospital. Mr. Speaker, I wish to mention the school of Jawala and Philippi Secondary School, which was budgeted for last year, 2025, and to this date is nowhere near to completion. It therefore means the children of the Upper Mazruni continue to sit in overcrowded classrooms and overcrowded dormitories at the lone secondary school that is known as Desiree Fox Secondary School. I was even looking at some of the results of the schools awarded to some of our children. Could you imagine they had Jawala Secondary School and the school has not been completed? Mr. Speaker, we all have experience and have knowledge that when projects are not completed on time, it is costly and the beneficiaries are delayed the essential and necessary services. This, Mr. Speaker, brings me to highlight the terrible state of some of our roads through the length and breadth of this country. Roads that lead to farms, or what we call farm-to-market roads, roads that lead to our gold mines and logging concessions like the Bartica Potaro Road or Bartica Isano, Itabali, and Kwakwani, just to name a few. The main roads in Bartica, Mr. Speaker, and right here in Georgetown, are laced or decorated with many potholes. Mr. Speaker, some of our airstrips in the hinterland have now joined the ban. Some of our airstrips have potholes, Mr. Speaker, which pose danger to the pilots and the passengers. I recently traveled to Kaikan just a few months ago, and that was the experience I had at the Kaikan airstrip. I am hoping that the people of Kaikan and all other hinterland communities where the airstrips need repairs and upgrade can enjoy a good life, safe traveling to and from Georgetown back to their homes. Mr. Speaker, our role, therefore, as opposition is to ensure that public expenditure delivers measurable outcomes, especially for those Guyanese who remain geographically distant from decision-making centers, but no less entitled to the benefits of development. Mr. Speaker, let me now turn our attention to address some of the other public utilities, especially in our hinterland regions. And I am here representing the Cayuni-Mazaruni region. Electricity. Mr. Speaker, despite repeated commitments, many hinterland and remote areas continue to experience limited hours of electricity. And here, at this time, in this August House, I wish to advocate for the people of Camarang, who for years have lived and experienced the limited access of only 4 hours of electricity supply, Mr. Speaker. 4 hours of electricity supply that is dependent on costly and unreliable diesel system. I am humbly asking for at least 12 hours of electricity supply for the residents of Camarang Water. Mr. Speaker, if this request or recommendation is taken on board to ease the burden of spoiled goods, especially fresh fish and other fresh meats that are experienced by the small miners and residents of Camarang, well, surely, if this recommendation is taken on board and this year's budget caters for this expansion of the electricity supply, we can surely say that the budget is putting the people first. Mr. Speaker, as I was reading through the budget, after listening to the minister's budget speech, at one time I was asking myself, is this really the people's budget? Is it the people's budget? Or is it the people's temple? You know, the people's temple came to my mind. Are we going down the path of economic suicide in this country? Only time will tell, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, water, another utility which is necessity and essential. Mr. Speaker, access to safe water remains uneven, especially in our hinterland communities. We are concerned that maintenance of existing system is inadequate and the quality persists in vulnerable communities. This is a problem almost everywhere in this country. And we need to fix it, and we need to fix it now.
Correct.
Because if this 2026 budget cannot fix it, well then I don't know when it will be great. It will be fixed. Mr. Speaker, I wish to talk a little bit more about aviation. Our hinterland airstrips. Public investment must be guided by strategy, not simply sustained by annual allocations. Mr. Speaker, far communities in the interior airstrips are lifelines connecting them to the much needed health care, education, markets, and the state itself. Yet, the opposition continues to receive reports of poor drainage and rapid surface deterioration of these airstrips. Inconsistent maintenance schedules. Rehabilitation works that do not endure beyond 1 or 2 rainy seasons. I therefore ask respectfully but firmly, what institutional reforms accompany this spending to ensure durability, safety, and value for money? Mr. Speaker, you would have seen on social media recently a patient being transported from Chinawing village in a hammock, being fetched by 2 or 4 men, and the patient in pain, groaning. The men have to bring him down the mountain. I climbed that mountain, so I know how it feels. What it feels to climb that mountain and to come down that mountain. They will bring the patient to the landing in order to catch a boat to bring the patient down to Imbamadai or to Camarang so that he could be transported. And this happened because the airstrip is closed for maintenance. And so when we're not against repairing and maintenance of the airstrip, but there has to be systems in place to cater for emergencies. Mr. Speaker, this brings me to the cry of an indigenous boy, an indigenous girl from Amokokopai, who has to walk to school a far good distance on slushy and muddy road. He or she is being forced to walk bare feet because the child doesn't want his footwear to be dirty. He wants to look presentable when he enters his classroom. I am hoping that this budget will have or put aside some monies so that immediate works can be done on that Amokokopai and Kraimalu Road in Philippi. The children are shouting and the children are crying. The children read a lot about what is happening in the country. The children knows that we have resources that can be used to improve their standard of living because they are our leaders for tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure investment without parallel institutional strengthening exposes citizens to unnecessary risk. We on this side of the House maintains that regulatory competence is as critical as physical construction. Electricity, water, and telecommunications remains the backbone of development, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, let me now talk a little bit more about Region 7. I want to touch on the culture, youth, and sports. It was interesting to listen to the minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth, and Sports passionately presenting his budget speech about community grounds that are now being lit. And young people can go to Bat Settlement, and I can't remember the communities he mentioned, that they can switch the lights on and play football or basketball in the evenings or in the night. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Minister, it would be so nice too if the young people of Kako Village, Bartica Community Ground, Mongripper Hill Community Ground, if these grounds can be completed and lighten up so that the young people can turn on the switch and play football in the evenings. What is reality on the ground? The reality on the ground in Kako, Mr. Speaker, is that they were given a second-hand brand new generator which did not last. Right now the generator is down. The floodlights are up on the post but cannot be lit because of no electricity supply. Mr. Speaker, we all want our young people to be meaningfully and gainfully occupied. And if we are talking about putting people first, these are the things that we have to look into. Look into our young people. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I now want to address our communities in regions 1, 8, and 9 who also voted for the WIN. They too would like to enjoy the community grounds that are lighted up. They too would like to have access to clean and safe water. They too would like to have completed and safe airstrips. I know that some of the airstrips are new, like Parima, Shelton, and I heard and read in yes, I will talk about that just now. Parima took a long time because, like I said before, monitoring and system that was put in place was lacking. And it's the same thing that is happening with Jawala and Philippi schools. We welcome the reduction cost of the airfare, but is it only, Mr. Speaker, for those communities that have new airstrips? Is it the fault of the people in the communities whose airstrips were not maintained and still now has to pay the high cost of fare in and out of these communities? For example, presently, to fly into Camarang and out is almost 76,000, 16,000 to come out, and almost 60,000 to go in. Looking at the measures in this budget, when I look at the measures in this budget, the $5,000 increase to our pensioners. Just think about a pensioner who wished to visit the city, perhaps for recreation or to visit his family or friends. And with the transportation, the annual transportation allowance of $20,000. Can fly out, but may not be able to fly in. And if he decides to go to the Amerindian hostel, he will want to fly out with speed. Because we all saw what was going on in that Amerindian hostel right here in the heart of Georgetown. The deplorable conditions. Sad. Very sad. Is this how we put our indigenous peoples first? The first people, putting the first people first? Not to say monies were budgeted, Mr. Speaker. Monies were budgeted for rehabilitation in 2024. An additional 24 million was allocated and approved in this house for maintenance, repairs, and supply of equipment for the Amerindian Hostel. We now have to ask the question, did we get value for the money spent? Of course, the answer is absolutely no. I will also make mention of, if that is happening right here in Georgetown, you could only imagine the Amerindian hostels that are in the outlying areas. The one in Lethem, the one in Mabruma, the one in Bartica, the one in Muruka, and the one in Camarang. The Amerindian hostel in Camarang is in dire need of repairs and there is a need for beds. When the people come from these outlying communities, they come there, if there are any, the mattresses are thin as razor blade. Mr. Speaker, when we're talking about putting people first, we have to have in our mind our indigenous brothers and sisters. My sister Sarah Brown, the minister, the honorable minister, she has a lot on her shoulders to fix. But don't be afraid. We on this side of the house will help you by exposing. We will continue to expose what needs to be corrected. And it is your sole duty, my sister, to ensure that our people receive value for money,
My
quality
sister,
life,
my duty
and
is to get you an extension.
Mr. Speaker, I kindly ask that the honourable member be given 5 minutes to complete her press.
Thank you very much, honorable member. You may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're there right now, Sarah. You're doing nothing.
Those are just some of the few struggles our first people continue to experience.
Oh my God, disappear now.
Mr. Speaker, billions, whether it be billions or trillions, that our indigenous people receive from low carbon credits or from any other source, they have that right to enjoy like anybody else in this country. Mr. Speaker, Guyana's development trajectory. I will now talk about some recommendations as I prepare to close. Our country's development trajectory requires 1. Strategic aviation planning, enforceable standards for hinterland airstrips,
That's why it failed.
transparent reporting and accountability, consultations, FPIC, free, prior, and informed consent with our indigenous communities, and this is the right that they have. Our people, all Guyanese, deserve well. They deserve equitable distribution of our country's wealth and resources. And unless and until that happens, then I can join with you to say, yes, we are putting the people first. Mr. Speaker, the resources of this country must not only be for a few. It is to be enjoyed. It belongs to all of us. All of us in this house, our families, our relatives, our great-grandchildren, our servant wealth must be able to serve our great-grandchildren to come. You must leave a legacy. When you leave from that side of the house to come to this side of the house, because I must let you know, WIN has grown stronger from the 1st of September. And WIN will continue to work on the ground to garner more votes come 2036. The people will, the 2030, sorry, the people, 31, 2031, the people will say again, enough is enough, and we need a change. And believe me, that change will come. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. And now, for the Honorable Member, Mr. Sherrod Duncan.
Mr. Speaker, very good afternoon. I trust I can do that justice. A very good afternoon to all of our colleagues on all sides of the House this afternoon. Let me start by responding to some of what Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa said, the Honorable Member. He rattled off on a number of projects that he says that the ministry is doing. But my experience has been, unless you don't scrutinize this government here, you cannot take anything for granted that they say. And that is part of the hard work of scrutiny that the opposition has. Now, we are going to trust. We're going to trust, but we verify. Because they're going to come here with all kinds of words and scenarios and so on. But unless you don't know, you might run away thinking that all is well. But all is not well. This is a government that would come here and lecture us on democracy and take 3 months to swear in the leader of the opposition. They would come and lecture you. We believe in democracy. We brought it back in 1992. But take 3 months. And then they would take even longer with the chairman of Linden, Region 10. So unless you scrutinize them and you understand what is happening, you can take a lot for granted. But this is the year we can drill down in the government. We can drill down in the all. Now, if you listen to the government, you would think it's one person in this country who is sanctioned, if you go by the government. But whatever happened to May, Toussaint, Thomas, who sat in the hallowed halls of the PPP on the Central Executive?
Honorable Member, you're just treading on the standing orders. So you withdraw.
Those former high-ranking public officials who formerly occupied the halls of the Ministry of Home Affairs. And then you have certain others too, high-ranking members of the Guyana Police Force who are sanctioned and still on the job, earning monies. So we got to be fair. But if you go by what the government tells you, we are going to be going down a wrong road. No, I want us to understand that the Honorable Member, Mr. Pandey, served under the PPP, and it was all well and good until he had a differing opinion. And then suddenly we know that he's incompetent. Once you want to go someplace else other than the PPP, you're incompetent. So I want us to understand that as well. Big budgets must fix things in a country, not only infrastructure. All that Don has said and all the other members on this side of the house have said, big budgets must fix problems in this country, Mr. Speaker. And part of that scrutiny, Mr. Speaker, has to happen in the National Assembly through the committees that are geared to scrutinize what the government is doing. And so denying those committees from their operation is part of rolling back the democratic process in this house. Now, this is a government who will tell you about press freedom and Press Freedom Day and all we have done and how we respect the media, but they continue to lock out the media from the people's house. And Mr. Speaker, I am condemning that in the strongest possible terms, that we have sharply restricted the independent media's access from these parliamentary proceedings, Mr. Speaker. And that is a very troubling move, Mr. Speaker, and a break from democratic norms and long-standing parliamentary practice in this country. And this House must immediately, Mr. Speaker, rescind the restraints and restore full, unfettered access to all accredited media.
Honorable Member, what are you restoring? Tell me.
All of the media in this country, as I've said, who are accredited for accessing this House unrestricted. That is what I'm asking to be restored. And also, Mr. Speaker,
I want to turn your attention, and the clock is running.
Of course.
Of course.
No surprises there.
Page 59 of the Standing Order 110. The Speaker may grant a general permission to the representative of any media to attend sittings of the Assembly under such rules as the National Assembly may make from time to time. If such rules are contravened, such permissions may be revoked. So you can bring a motion to the House, have it debated, pass, and I will implement those. In the meanwhile, what has existed in this House up to the end of the last sitting of the 12th Parliament of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana has been expanded. That position was established in consultation with the Guyana Press Association. So when you speak of full, unfettered access to the media, be careful. I never know. And those who have been here covering for whatever time, I have been in here since 1992. A couple of us are the institutional memory of this House. Many of us sat for months and went through these standing orders. So you have an option. You can mislead persons who want to go down that road, or you can bring a motion Until then, I will continue to ensure that the media, the private media, as well as the state media, have access. No one is being restricted from covering the proceedings of this House. We establish 2 positions.
All right, Mr. Speaker. Continue. It's 15 minutes.
You have to talk to, I'm the Speaker. When the Speaker stands, Manzoor Nadir, you don't need to respect. But this position, yes. There is a station downstairs, any amount of media could go. And the Guyana Press Association decides how they rotate. So I'm going to strike what you said. I have that authority as Speaker. I'll give you 5 minutes extra.
Mr. Speaker,
Always gracious.
Mr. Speaker, I would like your take also in the standing orders on why committees have not met since Parliament resumed on the 3rd of November 2025. That being said, Mr. Speaker, the point I want to make is unless you scrutinize, that is the point I was making, and the importance of committees in the National Assembly to scrutinize, and the importance of the media in a democratic society to help in that process, we're going down the wrong road. That is a larger point I want to make. But I understand why we would go down that road, because of what is in the budget. And you don't want the opposition's voice to get out there and to make sense for the people because of what you have in the budget. It is easy to come here and to say all the nice things you say, but as I said, as part of that scrutiny process, when you go on the ground and you marry what is being said here to what is on the ground, there is a dislocation. It is divorced from reality. I was on the ground in Region 1. I was followed by the Honorable Minister of Public Works and the Honorable Minister of Amerindian Affairs. And I'm happy to have seen them following us on the ground there. They suddenly went into project inspection mode in Region 1. And I'm happy. I'm honestly happy. Because if we do meaningful and well done projects, the people of this country benefit from it, and we all benefit from it. But the minister then passed around Hosorora Secondary School and see what we're handing over to the indigenous children in this country on a phase basis after spending $3 billion of taxpayers' money. He didn't pass there. He didn't pass and show us the Moano stelling and the other stelling and the one in Port Kaituma when the posts were falling down and the stelling the falling into the river there. And unless we had brought this matter to the public attention, it would not have been where it is. He didn't show us that. He didn't show us that.
Like you don't watch in the ring.
So there's a lot of other things that are happening that are being glossed over in the process. And Mr. Speaker, I get the sense of when I see where the budget speech went and where the budget estimates are, that again there's a disconnect. And part of the problem is we do not have in a finance minister, well, the senior minister in the office of the president responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, who actually goes around to see what the money he is requesting is doing in this country. That is the problem we have. They stay in their ivory towers, in their $80 million Volvo vehicles, and they pontificate while the people's money is being wasted. And that is why Dawn can tell us what is happening in Waramadong. That is why she can tell us what is happening in Karasabai with the secondary school. That is why we know what's happening in Tabachinga. But billions of dollars that are wasting away. And then you come back and you ask for billions more, and you say we're doing all this wonderful work. You don't go wrong. And so the honorable member comes and he tries to ridicule Mr. Cruz. He wants to tell Mr. Cruz how to be an Amerindian, Mr. Jacobs. He to Maruka one time, and then he's a specialist on Maruka. And for 23 years, the Marucans have endured that road from Maruka to the other end of it. What is the name of the place? Kwabana. You have endured that road. I went on that road. We going down a hill. The car started going sideways. Spin around 3 times. And you know how the government goes from Maruka to Kwabana? They fly. They fly in the chartered planes. That is why the road isn't fixed. They fly. Chartered planes.
He says he's a veteran.
And he's a veteran. Never play international cricket a day. But he's a veteran. You know why the Honorable Minister went and opened the Parima airstrip? Because when he opened it the first time, the first plane that landed sunk in the airstrip. Y'all are wasting taxpayers' money in this country. Don't come and tell us you have bring down the cost of food and you have to fix the airstrip twice.
That's right.
Don't do it.
That's right, Sharon. Beat.
I went to Mabaruma recently.
No.
It was special to me when I went to Mabaruma and published the photographs of the airstrip. My mother and father met in Mabaruma.
You're not a veteran, you're not.
A young teacher meeting a gentleman from Mabaruma. She got a little distracted, you know what? I'm here. That airstrip was not fixed since my mother and father met in Mabaruma.
Wow.
Until now, when that contract was issued. And you want to come here and tell us what putting people first? How many trillions have you earned since 2020 in this country? The larger point I want to make is the further out we go as a country, the deeper the decay and the neglect is. You want to tell us about fixing airstrips? Fix the one in Chinawing. How much they pay for cooking gas, Minister? In Mbamadai, $16,000 a bottle. $16,000. What we pay $4,500 the cost for. And you could tell people you only bringing on the airfare for airstrips that you have fixed. It's shame on you, man. 5 years minus oil, Madam Teixeira. 5 years minus oil. So let us talk about that. Let us talk about that. 5 years minus oil, we did a lot. So let me talk about it. I want to come to this whole notion, the further out we go. And as I said, and I say this with humility, if houses are built in the sector and our people can benefit from it, it's a good day for all of us as Guyanese people.
Yes, that's right.
Shelter is one of the most important things, and I'm certain all of us here have those aspirations of owning our own home. But ownership has gotten so difficult under this government.
Mansion ownership now.
I'll tell you this. Here are the numbers, the government's numbers. Some of y'all don't follow anything else. Here are the government's numbers. They've claimed, they're going to put an asterisk next to everything. They've given out 53,000 allocations. They will tell you. They've made 53,000 allocations. And then they'll tell you, we've given out 25,000 titles. Bear that in mind. Because in the Honorable Minister's speech, his budget speech, he made a point, and he's right, that a title gives you the opportunity to go to the bank. And if you tell me you have given out 25,000 titles, you've allocated 53,000 house lots, how many people can go to the bank?
28,000.
How many people can go to the bank in this country? And then, when you look at it, the further out you go, the worse the allocation is. Now, that's what they tell you. The Honorable Minister of American Affairs had an end of year statement. They don't give press conferences anymore because they don't like questioning. The Honorable Minister of Housing, he had a statement, a video statement. The Honorable Member, Sir Brown, said that 16,000 plus, 100 and something else, was given out in titles to the indigenous. Mind you, they said totally 25,000 titles were given out. Now, if in indigenous hinterland communities, 16,000 is giving out, for the other regions, how much was shared? How many were shared? I'm coming around to the crux of the matter, that when you see a small pool of houses looking flashy and so on, you can't even take that for granted, because when you go on the ground and you inspect, you see the decadence and the decay. I was in 5 Miles, Bartica, quite recently. You got houses there, they can tell you, oh, we can move families in here, and we've allocated it, and the families have paid. The houses, they're supposed to build about 100, they've done about 20. And of the 20, all got defects. A contractor was brought in to cure defects, and that contractor has abandoned the project. He has abandoned the project there. You go to Pork Bridge in Region 9. I've been there recently. I want housing and homes for every person in this country. Because you're poor in this country. You're a lot of the 2x4. When you open your hands like this in a house in Pork Bridge, one given by the government, you're touching both walls. You throw down your towel, it's wall-to-wall carpet. Our people must be housed with dignity in this country. If people are desperate for homes in this country, and you put a mic in their face, what will they say? I'm very grateful, Minister. Thank you so much. But could you imagine 10 people in a house that measures that wide, Mr. Speaker? Can you imagine that when we went knocking on the door just to find out how things are going? You know what people tell us? There's so many of them in the little house. They got to come outside to turn around to go back inside. You can't turn around in the house. You got to come outside and go back in. We got to house people in this country with dignity. We got to house them with dignity. But you know what? They're going to come and tell us about allocations. They come and tell us.
You need an extension.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the honourable member to be given 5 minutes to conclude his presentation.
Thank you, honourable member. You may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. They're going to come and tell us, oh, we built, y'all never do nothing up, no. Y'all built 300 houses. They won't tell you we didn't have oil and gas money. We didn't have oil money to do it. And we did a lot of other things in that industry. Case in point, case in point, case in point. Remember, we have graciously loaned them the theme, putting people first, because that is what we have done. The allocation model has failed the government. The government has failed on the allocation model. As a matter of fact, people are applying in such quantities they can't even print the allocation letters fast enough. And they have told us you have 78,000 applications, not allocations. 78,000 applications. And that is why they will tell you Region 4 is a special case. We can't deal with Region 4 as yet. That is part of the problem. Now, on that, by that same metrics, 78,000 applications, they have only done, according to them, if you believe the numbers, put an asterisk next to it, 4,000 houses in 5 years, trillions of dollars. And they tell us they've only done 4,000 houses. But because the allocation model has failed, they're now switching to building homes. Now, that looks a little familiar to me. That looks like housing solutions. That looks like housing solutions in the manifesto of the 2020 new AFC government. But here's the crux of it. With trillions of dollars and at full capacity, you could only do 4,000 homes in 5 years. They're coming to tell us they're doing 40,000 in the next 5. Make it make sense. Make no capacity improvement. As a matter of fact, the capacity is the problem. That is why you have schemes that are half finished, like the one in Pork Bridge, in Region 9, the very one that we saw in 5 Miles. That is why in EP Enterprise right on the East Coast, we don't have to go far. Right in Nunparel on the East Coast, those schemes are unfinished. We have to give people the dignity of housing in this country. No longer can we give them land, or not even house and a land if you can't flush the toilet in the house. We got to give them water. We got to give them electricity. People got a house in LP Enterprise. They got to buy solar. They got a truck in water, $8,000 a barrel. Security, soon as we went there, the first woman we met said that Steve bad in here. Security is poor. So every house allocation should be met with light, water, good drainage, and proper security at the minimum. I want to close, Mr. Speaker. I want to close on a pet project of this government, Silica City. Oh, they speak in glowing terms of Silica Smart City and City of the Future and so on. I went to Silica City. My God. Kurukururu, you take a long drive in. You see when you're going into Kurukururu? Concussion Road, that's a... Abortion. You see by the time you're gone down at the back by Silica City, road smooth to blood. $35,000 is the cost of a house at minimum. Million. Nobody are moving yet. They got light, they got water, they got roads, they got drains. Silica City is the next Prado Bill 2, but I'll show you something. I'll show you where the emphasis is and why we got to rethink government. This government will tell you this is a city of the future. You don't see it on the ground. As a matter of fact, when we were there were quite a few homes there. You had about 10 contractors working on the ground because I tell you, the capacity, they got to put 10 here, 5 over so, 3 over so, and nothing gets done. I want to challenge this government. I want to challenge this government. Since 2020 to now, trillions of dollars later, show us one housing scheme you have completed according to specification on paper. Show me one housing scheme, trillions of dollars later, you have completed according to specification and you've handed it over. Show it to us. Now, Silica City, I want to believe them with what they tell us on Silica City. How special it is. Silica City in the estimates has a minor position between two housing schemes that are ordinary. There is no special mention, there is no special write-up on Silica City, this innovative city of the future, and all of that. It's a private city, but they're coming for funding in this very house here, Mr. Speaker.
Security and nobody living there, right, sir?
Security. And nobody is living there. But people are living in Nonpareil, but it has no security. Mr. Speaker, I close. As I said, our role, I think, as legislators is not to expose for the sake of expose, but it's part of the scrutinizing process to get it right. But don't come and lecture us here like we don't know what is happening. Like we don't know who got a house in Florida and who sells chocolate, and you got ministers here living in lavish mansions to rival the Ambanis of India, and they will tell you that I borrow with money. I borrow with money. But look at the houses around them. If you want to see the decadence in the case, look at the houses around them. When I was in Latam, I went to see how the REO lived. My God. And look how the people around the REO lives and the size of their homes. The road up to the REO. And because the REO lives there, is that equity? Is that housing justice in this country? Mr. Speaker, we got to rethink this thing. All of us here are part of government, Mr. Speaker. And we want to get it right. We want to get it right. And I believe still there's a mismatch between what's in the budget presentation, what is in these estimates. I know we're going to get a chance next week to scrutinize it. And there's a total mismatch with what's happening on the ground. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I now invite The Honorable Member, Minister of Amerindian Affairs, the Honorable Member Sarah Brown.
This is a parliamentary veteran sequence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for the first time in this House as Minister of Amerindian Affairs. Beaming with pride, Mr. Speaker, to support my colleague, Dr. Ashni Singh, and Budget 2026 as presented before this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, from the banks of the Moruca River, yes, I am both humbled and elated to stand before this Honorable House, the highest in our nation. I stand here as a woman, a youth, an Amerindian, a mother, a wife, characteristics once labeled as marginalized, vulnerable, or minority, Mr. Speaker, but characteristics that are not barriers in the People's Progressive Party civic. I stand here because I stand with a party that not only prioritizes our people, but invests in them, Mr. Speaker. I stand here because I know that this party has historically supported our people and continues to do so. A party whose track record speaks for itself, and the party who today in government has advanced yet again Guyana's largest budget to date, $1.558 trillion, presented under the most appropriate theme, putting people first. This theme, Mr. Speaker, aligns with His Excellency's continued leadership while continuing to ensure development in every sector as we move forward assiduously on our record-breaking transformational path, setting the record not only regionally, but internationally. Mr. Speaker, I now turn my attention to the speakers before me. Starting with Mr. Speaker, Honorable Member Don Hastings. Mind you, Mr. Speaker, when I listen to these people, you know, it's hard to believe that they were in government. Honorable Don Hastings, who was in government for 5 years as a sitting government minister, the highest as the Minister of State, and also the General Secretary of her party, the People's National Congress Reform. She sat as quiet as a mouse, Mr. Speaker, when land tenure was dormant for 5 years. When 2,000 CSOs were sent home, when her colleague, Mr. Keith Cox, said that Amerindians were avaricious and we should not get any money from the resources of oil, where was her voice then, Mr. Speaker? What were the recommendations and interventions towards improving the Amerindian hostel then? What was done to improve the Amerindian hostel? Mr. Speaker, this member has not betrayed, I don't want to use unparliamentary language, has turned her back on the party that made her, on the party that she led as General Secretary. Can we trust her, Mr. Speaker? We see you, Honorable Member, you have changed the color of your clothes, but you have definitely not changed the fact that you sat for 5 years in government and did nothing for people. You have a chance to do the right thing now, and that is to support Budget 2026 as presented before this National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I now turn my attention to my brother, Dion LaCruz, Honorable Member. Honorable Member, please come to the front of the class. The front of the class. To address this member, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to refer to my WhatsApp chat that was sent to me at 1:55 a.m. this morning by an intelligent young Patamona girl from Cato Region 8. What she sent to me was a screenshot from the Guyana Standard, which said, and I quote the MP to say, "I strongly believe, Mr. Speaker, that the days for Amerindians to be living in truly houses should now be over with all the wealth of this country has. You can't born, grow, and dead in a truly house. We want mansions too, like some of the honorable members on the other side." Here is what Luana Augustus from Cato Region 8 had to say. "Good night, Minister. This is very offensive. I hope you will debunk this nonsense peddled by the opposition. Traditional homes are not symbols of failure or poverty. They reflect culture, climate, knowledge, sustainability, and identity passed down for generations. Development should give people choices, not erase who we are. And what's sad is when some of our own indigenous brothers and sisters repeat this narrative looking down on our traditional living. Real progress, Mr. Speaker, is clean water, free healthcare, free education, roads, and opportunities to improve our livelihoods. And that is what this government is committed to doing. Not everyone wants the same definition of development. Mr. Speaker, Luana said, development should never come at the cost of erasing culture. While improving housing conditions for vulnerable families is important, and I would like to point out that government's program to assist households in parts of Region 8, when residents were consulted, many chose traditional housing styles. That choice is important. Our people have lived in truly and traditional houses for generations. To generalize and imply that our way of life needs replacing is to speak down on indigenous people. Real development is about options, dignity, and consultation. Something that they have no idea of, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to turn my attention to Honorable Mr. Shera Duncan, but there are many others that's coming out of me battle ready, right? Battle ready. Many others are coming after me. But what I'd like to know, Mr. Shera Duncan, is that you sat in this House, Honorable Member, for the last 6 years, and you still cannot differentiate between Amerindian land ownership and land ownership on the coastland. It's something different. Listen and learn as I speak about land tenures. Mind you that this honorable member was also in government for 5 years. But let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, about Budget 2026. This budget will continue on this historically transformative path to further enhance the work that the government has been executing since our resumption into office, with the aim of ensuring our development as one Guyana. And it will touch every single household in our great nation, including our indigenous brothers and sisters. It will further ensure that we will continue upon the inclusive and progressive path of development that seeks to propel our indigenous rights to even greater heights. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2026 have once again, Budget 2026, Mr. Speaker, the people have placed their trust by voting overwhelmingly in favor of the People's Progressive Party Civic and allowing us to sit on this side of the House in a sweeping majority. To the Guyanese people, we see you, we thank you. And as we have delivered on our manifesto commitments before, rest assured, we will deliver. But the question I know my Amerindian brothers and sisters would like to be answered by me, Mr. Speaker, is what does this budget mean for indigenous people, like myself? As Amerindians and persons living in the hinterland, Mr. Speaker, we are set to benefit from every single measure under this budget as every other Guyanese. From the coast to the hinterland, as far as the macaw flies, Mr. Speaker, our newborn babies will benefit from $100,000 one-off cash grant. Our elderly will receive $46,000, coupled with the annual transportation grant of $20,000. Every citizen 18 years and over, including the Honorable Dion, will receive a direct cash transfer of $100,000. Our school children have increased because we care cash grant, $60,000, $20,000 transportation grant, and what's more, $5,000 uniform allowance, bringing it to $8,000 to $5,000. It means, Mr. Speaker, that every child in public and private school will receive $8,000 to $5,000. And what's best is that most of these cash transfers will be spent where? In the local markets, the local shops, using the local taxi, the local boats, the local bus. As a mother of three myself, I know that this will not only help ensure children attend school, but attend school with all of their supplies. Mr. Speaker, turning to housing. Last year, 253 of our Amrinian villages have seen a total of $3 million each in housing subsidy to assist the vulnerable in villages. Mr. Speaker, the measure announced by the Minister of Finance will see people in the hinterland benefiting from housing subsidy, as is done on the coastland already. Overall, these measures will also be a boost to the local village economies, and more so the small businesses who indirectly will be the beneficiaries of this massive cash injection. Mr. Speaker, what's more, in addition to these many measures, will be the removal of taxes on ATVs, which will directly enhance our local transportation and tourism sector, of which many indigenous villages are heavily reliant upon as their only mode of transportation, the most dependable mode of transportation, especially in the mountains and by road. While by river, the removal of taxes on the outboard engines up to 150 horsepower will bring great relief and benefit to those of us who are living along the river with no access to road networks and depend on boats as our only mode of transportation. Mr. Speaker, while the opposition continues to gripe and ignore all the investments and interventions that have transformed our lives over the last 5 years, for many of them, Mr. Speaker, as I always say, if the nabbing come, the nabbing no. What we in the PPPC have known all along, and we have continued to address in every single PPPC budget, whether it's in health, education, digital connectivity, road infrastructure, housing, airstrips, land tenure, access to water, and many more. Yes, Mr. Speaker, telemedicine too. Much has been done, Mr. Speaker. Yes, much needs to be done, and much more will be done under the People's Progressive Party Civic, starting with Budget 2026 and beyond. Mr. Speaker, there continues to be specific interventions through the Ministry of Amrinian Affairs to promote and enhance the social and cultural, economic as well-being of our villages. Mr. Speaker, permit me to share to this Honorable House how the major plans of our ministry will be advanced as a result of this year's budget. $7.5 billion allocated towards continued development of the livelihood of our Amrinian brothers and sisters specifically. This budget represents an increase from last year, Mr. Speaker, but it also means that we can further support communities as we have done in the past. It means that where the gaps exist, we can further bridge these gaps by providing such as transportation, such as buses, boats, ATVs, and other modes of transportation. And no, Mr. Speaker, no boots that grow. We will present, Mr. Speaker, since resuming office, we have allocated and distributed 400 assets specific to transportation for the needs of our villages. It means, Mr. Speaker, that for educational purposes, the children will not have to walk or paddle to school for long distances, and this will continue with Budget 2026 and beyond until we have realized 100% accessibility. Mr. Speaker, coupled with the major investments by the Ministry of Public Works in hinterland roads, this initiative has become a necessity. On the note of economic growth and opportunity, our Amrinian entrepreneurs will also benefit from the access up to $3 million in small loan from the Guyana Development Bank, and of course, at 0% interest, allowing us to repay exactly what was borrowed with no additional cost. I now turn my attention to LCDS and Amrinian land titling. Pay attention now, Honorable Sheriff Duncan. Mr. Speaker, enough is not being told. Enough is not being told of the success of Guyana's low-carbon development strategy, a transformative and groundbreaking plan for national development, a plan that has set Guyana ahead of our time, a plan that was implemented without the reliance on the oil and gas sector. Following our return to office and after extensive national consultation, we expanded this initiative from 2009 to 2030. And this consultation led to direct allocation into the bank accounts of Amrinian villages across the hinterland. To date, Mr. Speaker, as a result of this strategy, $14.5 billion has been directly disbursed to villages to be used for village development. And what is better, is that this is designed and driven by the residents themselves who prioritize of how they use these funds. And Mr. Speaker, it's a travesty that the newcomers does not understand how the sale of carbon credit under the LCDS works. And it's not my place to school them, but I dare say, if they have committed to an increase of 10% to Amerindian villages in their manifesto, they should have at least taken the time to understand the brilliance of this strategy, Mr. Speaker. But what they don't know, Mr. Speaker, is that while the sale of carbon credits were less, Amerindian villages did not receive lesser. Rather, what started in 2023 was 15% of the revenue from the sale of carbon credits were directly transferred to indigenous and hinterland villages, while in 2024 and 2025, 26.5% and 21% respectively were transferred, ensuring that our villages did not get less. That, Mr. Speaker, is putting people first. Mr. Speaker, standing tall in the Mabruma settlement, Mr. Speaker, is the Bonobo Guest House, funded by the LCDS, providing employment and much needed services to the sub-district of Mabruma Region 1. In the remote village in Kamana is the Kamana Mini Mart, funded by the LCDS. Kaiken's Women Group, Region 7, it currently employs 29 women. And in Region 2, the mainstay tourism project features 2 cabins, each self-contained, and is fully booked every weekend. Karasabay Region 9, 2 self-contained cabins, all funded under the LCDS and implemented by villages themselves, while creating employment. That, Mr. Speaker, is just the tip of the iceberg. Under this successful LCDS plan, we have disbursed funds to villages in areas such as agriculture, infrastructure, projects for women and youth, transportation, livelihood, social and welfare, and very importantly too, culture and heritage projects. Mr. Speaker, we reiterate that we are committed to ensuring that these resources continue to support sustainable livelihoods, climate resilience, and village-led development, while preserving the environment for future generations. And this is clear. Dr. Ashney Singh said in his budget speech that we will continue to receive at minimum, Mr. Speaker, 15% of the funds raised from the sale of carbon credits to implement our village sustainable plans. Land tenure. This remains a priority for indigenous people and the government. It's a common goal. We recognize the invaluable role land tenure has on our sustenance, on the environment, and our very identity and culture as Amerindians. Mr. Speaker, the PPPC continues to lead the way in addressing and promoting indigenous people land rights in Guyana. There has been significant strides in this area, and currently in Guyana, we're one of the few countries which has specific legislation that sets out the procedure that guarantees legal ownership of land by our indigenous people. Mr. Speaker, it's also important to highlight that this project, the Amerindian Land Titling Project, was started, yes, by the PPPC government, supported by funding from the Low Carbon Development Strategy, a program that went dormant for 5 years when the PPPC was not there to execute. Since our resumption, what have we done, Mr. Speaker? August to date, another 15 villages have been demarcated and 17 have received certificates of title. Mr. Speaker, and the figures are right. It amounts to 16,174 Amerindians having legal title to their land under this land tenure over the last 5 years. Last year alone, Mr. Speaker, under our government, 7 villages received their certificates of title, giving them absolute ownership for their traditionally occupied lands. We will continue to further support this program through the allocation of $400 million to further advance Amerindian land titling within the confines of our legislation and further safeguard and improve the security of land tenure enjoyed by our indigenous people. The Amerindian Development Fund. Mr. Speaker, land tenure must be accompanied by viable village economies. As such, over the last 5 years, our government has invested over $16.7 billion in village-led projects through presidential grants, capital grants, and our investment fund This means, Mr. Speaker, direct investment in 253 villages, satellites, and CDC's economies, leading to unprecedented growth with increased amounts in grant allocation over the last 5 years. And this has enhanced the lives of 107,000 residents of our Amerindian villages. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2026 prioritizes the well-being and development of our people by outlining proactive steps and that are tangible in achieving this goal as represented in the Amerindian Development Fund. Of great significance, Mr. Speaker, is the presidential grant, which has increased by 125% to date, representing a total sum of over $2 billion investment over the last 5 years. Mr. Speaker, the $5 billion in our ADF will be for economic projects for women and youth. Some of these include sawmilling facilities, tourism initiatives, agro-processing facilities, shade houses, printeries, bakeries, cosmetology centers, and heritage sites, all aimed at building the capacity of our people and encouraging economic growth. But high on our agenda, Mr. Speaker, is youth development. Viable economies are only realized when skilled youths whose capacities we continue to build. Mr. Speaker, the CSOs were sent home by an uncaring, now minority in opposition. They took $720 million away from our Amerindian youths every year. For 5 years, Mr. Speaker, Amerindians lost, our CSOs lost a total of $3.6 billion. Wow. Since coming back, Mr. Speaker, we have engaged over 2,700 CSOs under this program, allowing $4.693 billion to be invested in the development of our Amerindian youth. We have also trained, Mr. Speaker, 2,164 CSOs to receive training in areas such as small engine repairs, garment construction, business plan proposal writing, craft production, tractor driving and maintenance, cosmetology, tourism and hospitality, solar installation, and ICT. But this investment hasn't been in vain, Mr. Speaker. It hasn't. And I am proud to stand here today and to share with you because the success stories are many. From our CSO program, our CSOs are shining. Yulani Darson, Canal Bank, attended the digitalization development program for healthcare right in her region of in the Mabruma sub-district. She has graduated as the most outstanding in her course, sir. Nafisa Evans, Wairuni, a teacher. Shavana Singh, Aishalton, is now a trained teacher also molding young minds in her village. Siparuta, several of our former CSOs are police officers, teachers, nursing assistants, and many have gone on to be Tushaus and village council members, playing a significant role in village governance. In Region 8, Mr. Speaker, way in the mountains, is Lisa Geronimo from Cato. She's a role model as a successful local entrepreneur in her village. She participated in this program, used her training, relied on her stipend, and she now has her own business, Lisa's Variety Store, right in Cato. Mr. Speaker, the names are many, the success stories are applaudable, but the goal of this program continues to surpass any expectation. And I am pleased to be advancing an increased stipend of $50,000 to the CSOs. We will continue to build capacity and skills through appropriate training, and I'm confident that the success stories will continue to dominate any dialogue on the CSO program. Mr. Speaker, turning to education, I know I don't have much time and I want to say so much, Mr. Speaker, but of the 4,000 recipients on the Gold Scholarship, I am proud to say that 3,900 of these participants are from Regions 1, 7, 8, and 9. Mr. Speaker, programs such as the Coursera program and the University of Guyana tuition-free program will also enable our Indigenous people and the hinterland youths to further advance education in an unprecedented way. Mr. Speaker, I am proud to stand before this House and say that we have built 83 new schools in Regions 1, 7, 8, and 9. 83. But Mr. Speaker, while the educational opportunities are many, the Hinterland Scholarship remains a priority for this ministry. Last year alone, Mr. Speaker, 543 students benefited from scholarships. This would have placed, Mr. Speaker, a total of $354,000 directly into the pockets of our scholarship students. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to stand before this House knowing that this year, in Budget 2026, my government has increased the pocket allowance for the scholarship program by 150%, Mr. Speaker, putting people first. This represents, Mr. Speaker, an increase from $4,000 to $10,000 per student per month, in addition to all we're already receiving from the Ministry of Education and all the other measures outlined. This, Mr. Speaker, represents to free transportation, meals, and accommodation providing to our students in our care at the Liliendal Dormitory. I am proud to remind this House that in Budget 2026, $133.8 million has been allocated to support the students on this scholarship. If you've not been come, you've not been no. Mr. Speaker, connectivity. Accessibility to education opportunities is now being realized under this government. Connectivity is a priority to ensuring our indigenous people are not left behind. Mr. Speaker, we have constructed 173 ICT hubs and 8 that are nearing completion. To complement these hubs, Mr. Speaker, we have had training for 192 hub managers, 32 ICT technicians, 31 PV technicians, and 2,489 residents trained in basic ITC. But what's better is that 76% of these are women. Fantastic. Mr. Speaker, this is a stark contrast to when the project was under the APNU AFC's care, when they definitely shelved it as if trying to stymie the development of our people. I now turn my attention to health and welfare, something close to my heart, Mr. Speaker. Our ministry continues to work closely with the relevant sector agencies of health and the Ministry of Human Services. Mr. Speaker, we have seen training and investment in the health sector, whether it's investment in health centers, trained medical personnel, emergency transport, and of course, as I mentioned, telemedicine. And over the next 5 years, we will continue to see investment in world-class healthcare and regional hospitals in regions 1, 7, 8, and 9. Mr. Speaker, last year, our government, through the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, would have assisted 1,773 Amerindians through our welfare department, whether it's via prison visits, hospital visits, birth certificate application, welfare cases, and direct financial aid. And this aid were categorized into burial, medical, and difficult circumstances. This will continue, Mr. Speaker, in Budget 2026. And of great significance in this area is our long-standing hostel, which has provided humble refuge to many indigenous people for decades since 1972. It's an invaluable asset to the ministry and to our beneficiaries. In 2025, Mr. Speaker, only on average of 250 persons per month utilize this facility, the facilities of the hostel, where they receive free meals, accommodation, and access to health care, along with the safe transportation back home. Mr. Speaker, while this hostel continues to serve us well, I am pleased to share that the sum of $500 million has been allocated to begin the construction of a brand new Amerindian hostel for people. A commitment, Mr. Speaker, of His Excellency, the one, the only, the people's choice for President. And I repeat, Mr. Speaker, the people's choice for President. And anyone who has an issue with that should cry a river, build a bridge, and get over it. Mr. Speaker, Amerindian women, we are the backbone of our villages. Our contribution and ability to be the ultimate drivers of development in our villages cannot be underemphasized. We have an essential role to play in cultural revival and preservation. This, Mr. Speaker, is an undisputed fact. As such, this government has made specific provision for women group and cultural projects in villages and communities by allocating funds in the budget for these core groups and projects. This will be specifically utilized, Mr. Speaker, for economic projects Last year, we have assisted women and youth groups to establish beauty centers, sewing centers, craft shops, and bakery. And this has led to direct income and circulation of cash flow within villages. This will continue in Budget 2026 as we continue to empower our women, noting to Honorable Vindi that many of our indigenous women have also benefited from the WIN program under your ministry. The only WIN, mind you, the only WIN that has anything to offer the women of this country. Language and culture will continue to receive direct support as our indigenous people possess extraordinarily rich natural and cultural heritage sites. These include archaeological sites from prehistoric times, exceptionally preserved historical area, natural sites endowed with landscape distinguished by their biodiversity. Mr. Speaker, these cultural heritage sites help define our people's sense of identity. It's part of our history and can be a source of social information and collective pride. In addition, it also can become a vital economic asset that drives sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, the National Tushaus Council. We continue to support the NTC as a subvention agency under our ministry, and they will continue to receive our support in executing its legislative mandate, one of which is hosting the annual National Tushaus Council conference, where our Tushaus sit here for 1 week, having the ear of no less than His Excellency, the President. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2026 has allocated $150 million for the successful execution of this conference and $72 million for the NTC to execute its work. Governance. Leadership training for Tushaus and councils remain an important and useful method of delivering positive outcomes for villages in Guyana. There is continuous need for training, Mr. Speaker, especially for village councils, as it is indispensable to knowledge requirement. Capacity building plays a critical role in facilitating this knowledge requirement and in supporting the community planning process. And also, to Mr. Speaker, in spearheading and implementing of the long and short-term plans of the village. Last year, Mr. Speaker, we provided training to 401 Amerindian leaders and residents throughout the regions of Guyana.
Honourable Minister, you will need an extension to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask that the Honourable Member be given 5 minutes more to conclude her presentation.
Thanks,
Continue,
Honourable Chief Whip.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Budget 2026 will once again make provisions to ensure that training for governance in governance areas is continued. I know, Mr. Speaker, that I'll now turn to legislative review, Mr. Speaker, given my time. My government has committed, Mr. Speaker, to a comprehensive review of the Amerindian Act of 2006 with the aim of further strengthening and improving its provision. Given this government's policy of engagement and transparency, the review process has been inclusive and a transparent one, weighing heavily, Mr. Speaker, on the free, prior, and informed consent of our Amerindian people and the engagement of all relevant stakeholders. This process is carried out nationwide, collaboratively with the NTC and the AG's chambers, and this process is following a rigorous approach of 3 essential phases. 1, training, education, and awareness. 2, nationwide consultations. And 3, drafting of amendments, if any. In phase 1, Mr. Speaker, it has been well received, and we're responding to additional requests for more training on the Act for all residents. It is not the intention of this government to represent the voice of a select few in this review process, but all stakeholders that will be affected by the revision of the Amerindian Act. To date, Mr. Speaker, 2,069 leaders and residents have been trained. Materials have been developed. 21 lead facilitators trained on conducting consultations. This will continue, Mr. Speaker, in Budget 2026 and beyond. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I stand before this honorable House precisely as how I began. As a woman, a youth, and as an indigenous woman, a person who has spent my entire life in a village in the hinterland, as your Minister of Amerindian Affairs, to wholeheartedly support the motion for the approval of the estimates of the public sector and the budget for the financial year 2026. To Dr. Ashley Singh and his team, I say, hats off, sir. Well done. Mr. Speaker, putting people first. This is what we will do in Budget 2026 and beyond. I rest my case. God bless you.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, now is a good time to take a suspension for 1 hour. We return here at 6:05.
Wonderful.
Santa Rosa Bridge break.
No way.